Artificial intelligence is now capable of generating creative content. This includes text, images, music, and even videos. Users provide a simple text instruction known as a prompt. The AI then processes this prompt. It draws upon vast datasets of existing human-created works. The result is a new piece of content, seemingly original. This marks a significant shift in how we approach the act of creation. The machine is no longer just a tool for execution. It is becoming a partner or perhaps a director in the creative process itself. This new method of creation is what we can call prompt-driven creativity. It stands in stark contrast to older, idea-driven approaches. Traditionally, creativity began with an internal spark. An idea, an emotion, or a unique observation would fuel the artist. This internal concept would then be painstakingly translated into a tangible form. Now, the starting point is externalized. It is a command given to a machine. The depth of initial thought can be bypassed, replaced by the clever crafting of a textual instruction to guide the AI. The implications of this shift are profound. On one hand, it democratizes content creation. Individuals without traditional artistic skills can now produce complex works. They can visualize ideas quickly and efficiently. Content creators today face a new, powerful gatekeeper, the algorithm. Platforms that host and distribute content, from social media to video streaming services, rely on complex algorithms. These algorithms decide what users see. They prioritize content based on engagement metrics such as likes, shares, and watch time. This system has fundamentally changed the motivations behind content creation. The primary goal for many is no longer just to connect with an audience or express an idea. Instead, it is to satisfy the opaque demands of these digital curators, hoping for visibility. This focus on algorithmic approval means creators often optimize their work for machines first and humans second. They meticulously study trends. They analyze what types of content perform well algorithmically. They adapt their style, format, and even subject matter to align with these perceived preferences. This can lead to a kind of reverse engineering of creativity. Instead of starting with a passion or a unique insight, creators might start by asking, what does the algorithm want? The pressure to perform well algorithmically can stifle innovation and risk-taking. Algorithms often favor content that is familiar and easily digestible. Content that challenges norms or requires deep contemplation may be penalized if it doesn't generate immediate, measurable engagement. As a result, creators might shy away from experimental or niche topics. They may opt for safer, more predictable content that has a higher chance of being promoted. A particularly concerning development is the emergence of AI systems learning from AI-generated content. As AI produces more text, images, and code, this synthetic data inevitably becomes part of the vast digital landscape. Future AI models are then trained on this landscape. This creates a closed loop where AI learns from its own outputs or the outputs of other AIs. This phenomenon, sometimes called model collapse or AI eating its own tail, presents significant challenges for the future development and reliability of artificial intelligence systems. The primary risk of AI learning from AI-generated data is a gradual degradation of quality and diversity. AI models are designed to identify and replicate patterns in their training data. If the training data is increasingly composed of synthetic content, which itself is based on previous patterns, the models may begin to amplify existing biases. They might also lose touch with genuine human creativity and real-world information. The outputs could become more homogeneous, less accurate, and potentially filled with subtle, compounded errors that are difficult to detect or correct over time. This self-referential learning loop can lead to an information ouroboros, where the AI consumes its own tail, endlessly recycling and potentially distorting information. Imagine an AI trained to write news articles. If it learns from other AI-written articles, which themselves were based on earlier AI outputs, the nuances of original human reporting could be lost. Factual inaccuracies or subtle biases, once introduced, could become deeply embedded and widely propagated. Deepfakes and digital avatars. The rise of sophisticated AI has led to the creation of highly realistic synthetic media, commonly known as deepfakes. These are videos or images manipulated by AI to depict individuals saying or doing things they never actually did. While the technology can be used for harmless entertainment or creative expression, its potential for misuse is vast and deeply troubling. Deepfakes can be employed to spread misinformation, defame individuals, or even interfere with political processes. The ease with which these convincing forgeries can be created poses a significant threat to public trust and the very notion of verifiable truth. Beyond deepfakes, we are also witnessing the emergence of synthetic influencers and digital avatars. These are entirely AI-generated personalities, often with lifelike appearances and curated online personas. They amass followers, promote products, and engage with users just like human influencers. While some are transparent about their artificial nature, others blur the lines, creating confusion. The appeal for companies is clear: a controllable, scandal-proof brand ambassador. However, this raises ethical questions about authenticity in advertising and the nature of human connection when audiences bond with fabricated entities. The proliferation of deepfakes and synthetic avatars contributes to an environment where distinguishing between real and artificial becomes increasingly difficult. This uncanny valley of digital content can erode our ability to trust what we see and hear online. If any video or image could be a sophisticated fabrication, skepticism becomes the default response. This can have corrosive effects on social cohesion and democratic discourse. The algorithmic shadow over human imagination. The increasing integration of AI into creative fields casts a subtle yet pervasive shadow over human imagination. As AI tools become more adept at generating novel ideas, composing music, or drafting stories, there's a risk that human creators may become overly reliant on them. The initial spark of inspiration, that deeply personal and often unpredictable moment, might be outsourced to an algorithm. This reliance can gradually diminish our own creative muscles. If we consistently turn to AI for starting points or solutions, our capacity for original, unassisted thought may atrophy over time. The demands of algorithmic platforms, as discussed earlier, also play a role in constraining imagination. When success is measured by metrics that favor conformity and immediate engagement, the space for truly unconventional or challenging ideas shrinks. Creators might subconsciously steer their thoughts towards what is algorithmically palatable, rather than exploring the uncharted territories of their own minds. This subtle pressure can lead to a narrowing of creative horizons. The vast, messy, and beautifully inefficient process of human ideation might be streamlined into something more predictable, but ultimately less rich and surprising. Consider the long-term impact on artistic development and innovation. Breakthroughs in art and science often come from individuals who dare to think differently, who pursue unconventional paths, and who are willing to fail repeatedly. If the next generation of creators is conditioned to prioritize algorithmic approval or to rely on AI for ideation, will we see the same level of bold experimentation? AI on AI, a reflection in the digital mirror. We find ourselves in a peculiar moment in technological history. Artificial intelligence is now being used to analyze, discuss, and even critique artificial intelligence itself. Essays like this one, if generated by AI, would represent a meta-level of this phenomenon. AI reflecting on its own impact on creativity, society, and culture. This presents an ultimate irony. The very technology that raises profound questions about authorship, originality, and human agency is now being tasked with articulating those questions. It's a digital mirror held up not by a human, but by the reflection itself. This use of AI to critique AI has several layers of implication. On one hand, it demonstrates the advanced capabilities of current AI models. They can process complex topics, synthesize information, and generate coherent arguments. This is a testament to technological progress. However, it also highlights a potential dependency. Are we becoming reliant on AI even to understand the challenges AI poses? If AI frames the discussion about its own role, there's a risk that the narrative might be subtly shaped by the inherent biases or limitations of the technology itself, or by the intentions of those who control its development. The irony deepens when we consider the purpose of such critiques. Often, the goal is to foster human understanding and guide ethical development. But if the critique itself is a product of algorithmic processes, does it carry the same weight or offer the same depth of insight as a human-generated analysis?
If this made you pause, good. That's the first sign you're starting to see the pattern. All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more. Follow us down the rabbit hole, subscribe, like, and keep the loop turning. Feed the ouroboros.